Good morning. It is Monday, April the 20th, and I'm here today for today's psychology lecture notes. All right. The question of the day is if a person feels overwhelmed with sadness, loss, loses interest in activities, and displays feelings of worthlessness, he is most likely what? And you can look that up in the book and get that filled out. Okay. We were getting ready to start mood disorders when we stopped last Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and go through a couple pages of notes today, and then I have a few things to talk to you about toward the end. Okay, mood disorders are characterized by disturbances in mood or prolonged emotional state. Most people have a wide emotional range. You can be happy, you can be extremely sad, or any place in between. It goes up and down that range. Some people with mood disorders, that range is greatly restricted. They seem stuck at one or the other end of the emotional spectrum. Other people with mood disorders go between the extremes of happiness and sadness. The most common disorder is depression. The person feels overwhelmed with sadness. They lose interest in activities, display symptoms like guilt or feelings of worthlessness. They are unable to experience pleasure from activities they once enjoyed. They are tired and apathetic to the point of not being able to meet the simplest decisions or make the simplest decisions. They feel they have failed in life. They tend to blame themselves for their problems. Others have insomnia and lose interest in food or sex, have trouble thinking or concentrating, can even find it difficult to read a newspaper. Some researchers indicate that the difficulty concentrating and changes in short-term memory are the first signs of the onset of depression. It would be very easy for a lot of people to be running into depression right now. The way things are going, a lot of people are staying at home, can't go to work, can't go to school, can't do activities that you normally do, and depression can get settled in. If you are feeling any of these signs of depression, talk to someone, okay? Email me, call my school number and leave your phone number, anything like that. I'll talk to you. I'll listen to what's going on. I can't give you a lot of grand advice, but I can listen and give you someone to talk to. Seek out a family member, seek out a friend, okay? Don't just sit around and be depressed. And I know for those of you who parents are taking this serious and pretty much keeping you under lockdown and not letting you out, it can be very stressful, okay? So don't let this overcome you, and don't let this make you who you are, okay? Get help, talk to somebody, okay? In several case studies, in serious cases, they may be plagued by suicidal thoughts, okay? So it could get even worse. Is it normal to become sad when a loved one has died, when you have come to the end of a romantic relationship, when you have problems at work or school, when the weather is bad, or when you don't have a date for Saturday night? Yes, it is normal to be that way, okay? Psychologically healthy people get the blues for no reason. In all of these, the mood disturbance is a normal reaction to the real world and passes quickly. There are two forms of depression, okay? Major depressive disorder, an episode of intense sadness that may last for several months, or dysthymia, which is less intense sadness but goes on with little relief for a period of 2 or more years. Some depression can become so bad that people become psychotic. They lose touch with reality, all right? Children and adolescents also suffer from depression. It is difficult to diagnose in the young because the symptoms are usually different than those seen in adults. In infant, depression can be manifested as a failure to thrive or gain weight, or a delay in speech or motor development, okay? In school-age children, depression may be manifested as antisocial behavior, excessive worrying, sleep disturbances, or unwarranted fatigue, okay? A disorder that is often mistaken for depression sometimes follows a head injury. The symptoms may include fatigue, headache, loss of sex drive, apathy, and feelings of helplessness. Usually only lasts for a few days, but can last for a few months. In rare cases, can last for a year or so. When symptoms arise following a trauma to the brain, more than likely it will be diagnosed as a mild traumatic brain injury. I know someone who had a severe concussion during her senior year in high school, and it took her almost a year to get over that. And she had bouts with depression. Basically, she had uncontrollable sobbing when she didn't know why she was sobbing, loss of interest in activities and stuff. And she really struggled for a while, and it took almost a year for things to get over with, okay? Then you have mania and bipolar disorder, okay? Less common than depression, mania, where a person becomes euphoric or high, very active, very talkative, and distracted easily. They become grandiose. Their self-esteem is greatly inflated. They have unlimited hopes and schemes, but little interest in carrying them out. Sometimes become aggressive and hostile as their self-confidence grows. At the extreme, they may even become wild, incomprehensible, or violent until they collapse from exhaustion. Mania episodes rarely appear alone, usually alternate with depression. Bipolar disorder is when depression and mania are present. Both alternate, each lasting a few days to a few months, sometimes with periods of normal moods intervening. The person will have altering moods of unrealistic high spirits, followed by moderate depression. Bipolar differs from depression and is much less common. It is equally prevalent in men and women. Also seems to have stronger biological component than depression, more strongly linked to hereditary, and more often treated by drugs. And that's bipolar, okay? The next thing that we hit into is causes of mood disorders, all right? Some insist that mood disorders are caused by nature or nurture. People will say it's caused by a chemical imbalance of the brain or unresolved grief. Most psychiatrists believe mood disorders result from a combination of factors. Even though they can identify many of the causes, they still don't know how many they interact to cause a mood disorder, okay? Biological factors. There is evidence that genetic factors play a role in development of depression, like in bipolar disorder. The study of twins gives the best evidence. Now, we've talked about this before. When they do research, if they can research twins, especially when they're looking at things that are genetic or hereditary, using twins gives them the best results. Okay, if they got one twin who is bipolar and the other twin isn't, they do their research and stuff, and they start coming up and start drawing some better conclusions about this, okay? If one identical twin has depression, then the other twin is more likely to have depression. When fraternal twins, if one is depressed, it is less likely for the other one to be depressed. You wonder how they know that. Well, because they've been researching twins forever, okay? Some research has linked mood disorders to certain chemical imbalances in the brain, to high and low levels of certain neurotransmitters, which are chemicals involved in transmission of nerve impulses from one cell to another. Psychological factors. In recent years, research has focused on the contribution of manipulative cognitive distortions. Aaron Beck believes that during childhood and adolescence, some people undergo wrenching experiences like the loss of a parent, difficulties in getting parental or social approval, or being humiliated by teachers or other adults. The result of such experiences in development, it end up developing a negative self-concept of feeling incompetence or unworthiness. This is little to do with reality, but is maintained by distorted and illogical interpretations of events. Okay. Social factors. A lot of social factors have been linked with mood disorders, difficulties in interpersonal relationships in particular. Freud viewed depression as resulting from excessive and irrational grief over a real or symbolic loss. His view is complex and not supported by current evidence. Although the analogy he drew between grief and depression has been fully noted by other theorists, there is a lot of research linking depression with troubled close relationships. Okay. Some theorists suggest that the link between depression and troubled relationships explains the fact that depression is 2 to 3 times more likely in women than men, since women tend to be more relationship oriented than men in society. But not everyone who experiences trouble in relationships becomes depressed. Okay. I'm going to kind of stop there with this and take up. We'll start off. Well, let me go ahead and finish this up because we got one last thing before we get to anxiety disorders. Suicide. Over 29,000 people in the United States commit suicide a year. It is the 11th leading cause of death. It outnumbers homicides by 5 to 3. More than twice as many people die of suicide than of HIV/AIDS. More women than men attempt suicide, but more men are actually succeed. The large number of suicide occurs among older white male, but there has been a rise in adolescents and many young adults. Adolescents are about 12% of all suicide attempts in the U.S., and it is the 3rd leading cause of death in that age group. There is no convincing explanation for the increase. People considering suicide are overwhelmed with hopelessness. Things can't get any better, and there is no way out. It is depression at the extreme. Okay. I'm going to stop there today. We'll start up tomorrow with anxiety disorders. Okay. I am still trying to figure a way to be able to use a beautiful mind. Some of you have emailed me and told me that you have access to a beautiful mind, and that's great. If you do, I'll go ahead and extend the assignment out today till Monday, give you a week to be able to watch it and then write your paper. And then you can email me your paper. It might be the easiest way. You may be able to do it through the Teams. If you can do it through the Teams, that's great. But if I get your paper, I'll grade it. I'll put the grade in through Teams, and then I'll get the grade on to Skyward. And speaking of grades, seniors, it is crucial that you check your Skyward. And if you have any incompletes from any teachers, you need to get that squared away. You're in the home stretch. Now, the home stretch isn't what you'd hoped it would be. You're not going to be in the classroom. You're not going to be spending time with a lot of your friends. Graduations are probably going to be postponed. All that stuff, that's still up in the air. Something will happen, okay, at some point in time. I know Mr. Dowdy is looking at all kinds of options and trying to see what will work out best. But don't have incompletes on your grades. Incompletes on your grades could mess up graduation. I don't know how that works. I just know that an email was sent out telling everybody to take care of their incompletes. By Friday, I'm supposed to notify Mr. Dowdy of anybody that I have that have incompletes on their grades. And then we'll have to go from there, okay? So take care of your grades. I know there are some in my classes that have not even looked at Teams. They're just building up incompletes. You don't want that, okay? I'm not going to harm your grade. I'm going to make sure your grades stay where they are, but you got to do the work. You can't get a grade if you don't do the work, okay? So check your Skyward, check for incompletes. If you've got incompletes, notify that teacher and see what you need to do, all right? I'll figure out Beautiful Mind. I really would like to be able to play it for you, but I can't figure out how to do that. That's just, I rented it. I bought it through Amazon. If I had a DVD, then I could work on some technological way to do that. But I just don't know how to do it since I bought it through Amazon and I'll be able to play it for you. It would be great if I could YouTube it, but you can't even YouTube it. So I'll figure something out. For those of you who can't do it, if you notify me and tell me you have no access to it, I will figure something else for you to do to make up for that, okay? Beautiful Mind is a great thing to watch. It's about schizophrenia, and it got some good writing prompts, okay? So let me know, email me. If you cannot get a Beautiful Mind, email me, and I will come up with an alternative assignment for you that will be the worst same amount of points, okay? Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're taking care of yourselves and getting your schoolwork done. Seniors, you're in the home stretch. Graduation day is going to be the same day, so your last class day is going to be the same day as it was going to be, whether we're in the classroom or not, okay? So you just need to stay the course and finish strong, all right? You guys have a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow.